Then she added, "It only costs $1.5 million to hire me. I I promise I can get Cletta back for you."
I had to say that Juliette was really smart and knew me very well. Her plan not only touched me, but she could also publicly be in a relationship with someone she liked, and she could earn money too. If I wasn't the man in question, I would really give her a big applause. Unfortunately, I was just like, so I couldn't really give her $1.5 million. If I really gave her that, she would not be my secretary anymore. I was a businessman. I didn't want to lose my favorite secretary so soon, but I did want Cletta. After all, I had never lost so miserably in my life. So I told Juliette that I would pay her $45,000 a month and we could try out the plan. Because of the $45,000 a month, Juliette began to play the role of my lover and help me pursue Cletta. She had tried her best that she even gave me her first time. After we had done the deed, there was an odd emotion in me, and I transferred $150,000 to her. I told myself that I didn't want to have a relationship with her other than being her employer. But in the next few days, she often wandered around in front of me and studied through Aphrodite and Love Camp as if she wanted to do it again with me. Or maybe she just wanted to make hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing that with me again. Both of these thoughts came to my mind, making me very upset. If she really loved me, what I did would be cruel to her. I couldn't accept myself doing that. But I found it was harder for me if she was just dedicated or wanted to make more money. So after that time, I had complicated feelings for her, which made me a little scared. I felt this way for Cletta as well. Was it love? I had no idea. All I knew was that Cletta and Juliette appeared in my mind at the same time very frequently from that day onward. I couldn't tell which name I had spent more time thinking about. My mother was another source of worry for me. After my mother took Juliette to the party, she gave Juliette the pearl necklace, which was the dowry my grandmother gave. I asked my mother how she was willing to give that away. She said it had been a long time since she saw someone as unwasteful as Juliette, which was worthy of commendation. I told my mother not to regret giving away something so important. However, she said that she would regret it if she didn't give it to Juliette. She also told me not to like Closetta, as I would only regret it soon. I found out that my mother's words came true. That day, under Juliette's arrangement, I pursued her all the way to Harfush. After shopping and eating like any ordinary person all day, Cletta called me, as Juliette expected. Juliette hung up the call for me with reddened eyes. She told me not to answer the phone tonight so that when I went back tomorrow, Cletta would definitely become my girlfriend. When Juliette said these words, I could see tears in her eyes. At that moment, I was so sure that Juliette really liked me. But Juliette nagged me like a fool, like, you only gave me $90,000. Don't you feel sorry? You have to give me at least $1.5 million. I asked her why she needed money, and she said it was because she wanted to live a comfortable life. I didn't know if it was what she said that stimulated me, but I just dragged her and we shared a crazy night together after that. When I arrived at the airport, it was 6 in the morning. For some reason, even if I knew that Cletta was waiting for me, I was not excited at all. I just felt like my heart was empty. I was familiar with this feeling. I used to feel like this for Cletta. But at that moment, I was sure that I had regretted coming to the airport. I found out that I had long been out of love with Closetta. Maybe I stopped loving her when she gave up on me for that ridiculous man. I was obsessed with her just because I wanted to win. And Juliette made me win.
Yeah.
At that moment, many scenes flashed through my mind, and the main character was Juliette. I called Cletta and told her that I liked Juliette. Now, Cletta was angry, She told me that Juliette was the Matilda who had written me a love letter when I was young. She said that Juliette was an ugly monster when she was a child, and now she was a plastic weirdo. It turned out that Closetta would also be jealous. I simply smiled and replied, "Oh, didn't you do your eyelids too? Cook?" Actually, I didn't care if Juliette had done plastic surgery. On the way back to Juliette, I was clear-headed. I wanted to expose her and tell her to stop pretending. She liked me so much, but she still pretended that she just liked my money. At one point, I didn't care whether Juliette loved me or my money. When I showed up in front of her and told her that I liked her, she was crying. She was then stunned for a long time and finally asked in a trembling voice, "You won't take back the money, right?" I laughed very well. She loved money, and I happened to have enough money to ensure that she would love me forever. We were a perfect match for each other.